Hello everybody, December 18th, 2021. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, which is having a little bit of a pump here. So last night we were looking at the potential for this to continue downwards a little bit further into this zone. What it's doing right now does not rule that out. I want to make that quite clear. And we still could see a larger move down from this as well. I never really trust a weekend pump. It's a time when there's low liquidity, and it's really not something you can effectively trade on or trust, basically. So what I'm seeing here is that we can absolutely have a little ABC going on within a larger C, meaning we would get this being the A wave, here's a B wave, and a C wave all within this C in order to get that lower low. So I'm not saying that absolutely for sure is going to happen, but it is something that we often see. We typically don't get a straight move down like this or a straight move up. This is a good example here where we have the three waves up within B. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but I am saying it certainly would need to push through this level. 48.7 approximately is the top of that. If it can do that, I would start to believe it. If it can get above 48.7, it still needs to break this high back here and this diagonal. And then, of course, it needs to break the larger diagonal and this high as well to really make me believe that the bottom is in. But as I've sort of explained multiple times now over the past couple of weeks, this sideways action that we're seeing, if we just continue to see this three-wave chop, is really just indicative of nothing more than sideways consolidation. And at some point, I do expect we're going to challenge that low again. So even if this goes up temporarily, it's quite likely it's going to come down to challenge that low, potentially to spike down below it before we have anything else happen. So that being said, I'm still holding on to my 49K short, and I just have a break-even stop on it. If it gets back up to 49, I'll stop out because it may want to push higher then. But at the moment, to be perfectly honest, this looks like another opportunity to short anywhere in here up to about 48.7. Maybe just for a scalp down. It may not be a huge dump down to 30K, but let's say that did strike the top already. Then the next wave down would be expected to go right in this region. This region right here. So, we can certainly see a scalp come down basically to the bottom of that green box that we originally had on there as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And we'll see what happens. If it can push up overnight significantly higher, then perhaps that interpretation is wrong and we'll push up a little bit higher from here. But I'm still not convinced completely that we're going to see a higher high at this point in time. And if we do see a higher high, it's likely going to be in that diagonal that I was talking about. So here being 1, this being 2, 3 being up, somewhere higher. Doesn't actually matter where, as long as it's higher than that. And about equal, it should be about equal to this wave. So, somewhere up here. And then another move down, and then another move after that. So, realistically, even if it does do that pump, we're going to have another chance to buy back in at about 50K. So to me, it's worth it to continue to let it prove itself before I go all in back into crypto. And like I said, there's nothing about this action right now that says we should expect that. It's still looking corrective, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this get completely reversed tomorrow. Basically we've got all day Sunday to reverse this move, and Sunday often does do that. So another thing to look at is over here on the daily chart. I've been watching this downtrend on the RSI, RSI is not confirmed until the day closes, right? So we are pushing up against that line. We may even see that start to break out if this pushes a little bit higher. But if this comes down and actually gets rejected before the end of the day tomorrow, that is not going to close above that. We're going to see the RSI close back within here. It'll duck down back underneath and make another move down, which would be quite bearish. And we'll just have to see what happens from there, of course. But basically, I'm just going to need to be watching that daily RSI and where the daily closes in about 20 hours from now, give or take. All right, I think that pretty much sums up Bitcoin and my expectations there. If you want to use that level right here as sort of an early warning sign of maybe we get a higher push, you can. 48.7 would be that early warning sign, but really we need to break through a couple more levels before I'd even anticipate maybe making a higher high and a diagonal. But most importantly, let's take a look at the daily close tomorrow and see where we are at that time. All right, good night, everybody.